Since 1961, Quartz Plumbing has offered friendly, reliable service to residences all over Bergen County, New Jersey. We are a fourth-generation family-owned business, unmatched in customer satisfaction and professionalism while working in your home. We are the hydronic heating and water filtration specialists, with a workmanship guarantee to put you at ease so you can rest comfortably. We offer financing for those big projects that catch you off guard, and we have a network of excellent contractors in all fields for any project you wish to tackle. Call our responsive office team, and we'll dispatch a handsome and educated technician to lay the smackdown on all your plumbing issues. You can also find us at quartzplumbing.com, search us on Google, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Like, subscribe, and share, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Plum Bums Podcast, the blue-collar tradesman show where we talk about small business and entrepreneurship in these crazy times, these crazy modern times. The Everyman's Podcast, right, Max? How are we doing today?
We're doing all right. What are you looking at me like that for? Waiting for me to say something like super interesting.
What do you got?
It's finally getting cold, which I'm enjoying. I like waking up in the morning and it not being 70 degrees.
Crisp air.
Yep.
Yeah, we haven't had that in a while. It's been humid. No, it hasn't been humid. It's been super dry. Driest.
Well, the other day we had all those forest fires. You walked outside.
That was crazy.
And everywhere it smelled like a campfire everywhere.
What is it? The driest fall in like 100 years or something like that?
Yeah.
We got a little bit of rain recently, but it's not much. We need cold weather, man. We talked about this on the last episode. We thrive, unfortunately for our customers, we thrive on disaster to an extent. Some things, you do regular upkeep, but we need boilers to fail. We need pipes to freeze.
Yeah, we haven't had any of that. I mean, our restoration companies, one of the restoration companies that was at the supply house asked, what, you guys have any work,
Don't tell that to our last guest.
Well, he already knows. They asked, you guys have any work? I said, to be honest, no. I mean, we don't use them, but
yeah.
So we don't have much going on right now.
We really, well, our remediation guy says the same thing. He's like, I got no frozen pipes to give you, man.
Nope.
There's nothing to give you.
Yeah.
So we'll see what this winter brings. Who knows? I don't know. Does a dry fall give a cold winter? I hope so. I love winter.
I don't know. You have to read the Farmer's Almanac.
So your favorite holiday's coming up.
Thanksgiving. Yep.
What are your plans for Thanksgiving?
Same as every year.
The family thing?
Family, food. Everybody likes to come over to my parents' house, which is nice.
I'm going out to my family in Ohio for the first time in years for a holiday.
Why is that? Why is it the first time in years?
Because we're always so busy. We're always so busy.
Is that the truth?
I got videos that I was posting from Christmas last year with her in the truck. I'll show you.
All right.
Yeah, you see, you don't know because you don't work holidays. You get off nice and light.
What is it? What do they call it? Black Friday or Brown Friday is the busiest holiday. It's the busiest day for plumbers. The Friday after Thanksgiving. Yeah,
after everyone clogs up their toilets from Thanksgiving dinner. I just can't wait to have like a nice home cooked meal from my mom. I'm pumped about that. Yeah. I haven't had a nice home cooked meal except when I go over to your house.
Yeah, well, the funny part is that my mom, now we kind of cater. There's a couple things that they'll
Unbelievable.
cook. Yeah. She used to cook all the time. Now she kind of caters a little bit, and some people will bring over food. And my girlfriend now, she already started talking to my mom about it. She goes, I want to come over the day before and help you cook and do all these things. And my mom's like, oh no, I have to cook and I have to do those things instead of being able to order. So she's
you should do it anyway. Have her help set up.
Yeah.
Have her make the table.
Yeah.
That's it. Just go make the table while we watch TV.
Yep.
So, what's been going on lately? You've been seeing a little extra sad lately. What's going on in your life? Tell the people.
I stopped drinking. That's the problem. I stopped drinking. Yeah.
Well, that'll do it, I guess.
Yeah, but I just couldn't. I can't hang anymore. That's my problem. I don't like feeling like crap the next
30.
day. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what happened.
I don't like feeling like crap the next day. I don't. I gained a lot of weight from it.
Here's my problem with drinking. I can't even drink a little bit and not regret it the next day. Like, it affects even a little bit. I can't sleep well. So here's the thing: when I drink, I'll pass out, cannot wake me up for like 2 hours. And then the rest of the night, I'm tossing and turning, and then I feel like crap the next day.
Yeah, it messes. It doesn't matter 1 or 2 drinks. It messes with your sleep.
Drinking's overrated.
Yeah.
But well, are you gonna drink on that big holiday?
What, on Thanksgiving?
On Thanksgiving?
No.
Give thanks and drink?
No. I still have other vices. I mean, I smoke cigars. I like.
Well,
other
you don't have to
things.
tell that to the people.
Why?
Well, you're trying to put on an image here.
That I don't smoke cigar, but like
That you're a good boy.
I'm some sort of wholesome kid. I'm not a kid either. I'm 30.
Oh, you're not
Almost
30 yet. 29?
Yeah, almost.
Wow. I've watched him grow up. It's just what do you got? Pedialyte stuck behind here?
Yeah.
So you have been drinking.
No, I just drank Pedialyte. It makes me feel like I drank the day before.
Well, folks, you know how long Quartz Plumbing has been around. If you don't, 1961, same phone number. My grandfather started it. But we have today a special guest who has been working with Quartz Plumbing for a very, very, very long time.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan, ladies and gentlemen. Is it okay that we bust your chops
We
about
got
that?
him.
That's fine.
We got him.
I've been Hulk Hogan my whole life.
We got him.
I
I am a real American.
I even have a costume
saw that you sent me that one for Halloween.
We've done Halloween.
I mean, you should. If I had your look, I'd be Hulk Hogan everywhere I go.
There you go.
We got Rod Hill from Remodel Plus out of Fair Lawn, New Jersey, but you go all over the place.
I go where the work dictates.
Yeah, that's what most contractors. You do what you got to do.
That's it.
But you've been in business. You've been in business for how long?
Since 1994, I started, and I believe it was 99 when I incorporated.
Good old 99.
99.
Great year. That's the year I graduated high school.
Yeah, so that's where it all began.
So you've been working with my uncle for like 20 years, 30 years?
I met Paul in a deli, and the way we met, actually, I was ordering a sandwich, and I think I was mumbling about not being able to find a good plumber, and I had one standing right alongside of me. And we started talking about things, gave me his number, went from there.
Unfortunately, that good plumber's retired now. A couple years ago.
Do you remember what deli?
It was Wilkes Deli on Broadway and Fair Lawn, which is now closed.
Oh. Well, listen, 1994. So what is that? That's 30 years.
Yeah, that's a good period
30
of time.
years in business. Mm-hmm. You got all your boys grew up to be getting to the trades too.
Yes, they have.
Which is impressive. I mean, it's not a lot of fathers can say, yeah, my sons followed in my footsteps, and your sons are great contractors.
Yes, they are.
How's starting from all the way back there. Well, listen, let me tell you this. We've been using Rod for a reason for all these years. Rod's an excellent contractor. He's super responsive. And if you can't get to the customer, I make sure Nancy follows up. But we actually haven't had a lot of work for you. I haven't done bathrooms in a long time. Kind of sucks, I don't really work with you in the field much anymore.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But we'll get you out there, I promise.
That's okay. Lucky for me, I'm staying busy.
I could imagine. So it's always been called Remodel Plus.
It's always been, it was Remodel Plus Inc. at one point, and then I switched over to Remodel Plus LLC.
Did you have, if you don't mind me asking, how old were you in 94?
So I believe I started doing this, let's see. So I started out working for somebody late 30s.
Oh, you started working in your late 30s?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
like, we're
really?
doing this
What were you doing
profession.
before?
I drove a tractor trailer.
Did you really? You were a truck driver?
Yeah,
look
I
like-
worked
you
for
look like you were a
Farmland
truck
Dairies. I
driver.
drove an 18-wheeler delivering milk store to store.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Were you married then?
I was.
She was okay with you just driving all over the place?
It's what we had to do to pay the
I
bills.
guess so. Wow, truck driver.
Yeah.
I got
Did
a
you-
couple truck drivers in my family.
Did you grow up with contracting where it was like your father and uncle or somebody?
No, actually, my family owned auto salvage business. So we had three of them. It was Columbia Auto Parts in Patterson, Columbia 2, which was in Washington, New Jersey, and Liberty Auto Parts, which was in Passaic. And I was like a junkyard dog.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How did you get into contracting?
I've always been really good with these guys.
Yeah?
And
Yeah, junkyard people are always good with
yeah,
that
you
kind of
take
stuff.
things apart. You remember how they go back together.
Yeah.
You know, because I see you. There's a time. Do you have helpers right now? Because you go in and out with workers.
Basically, it's me and my boys right now.
Is it?
Yeah,
I've seen you on jobs, pull whole jobs by yourself.
yeah. I'm still doing that sometimes.
See, I don't even like to do half a day's plumbing by myself. I just like running back and forth to the truck, and for you to not have a background in contracting, jump in it in your 30s. And be as good as you are. That's impressive.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, now say something about me.
You guys are the best plumbers I worked with. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, we've been actually trying to get Rod on for a long time.
It's funny that you say that you were a junkyard kid because there's a kid online that I follow, like a young kid that his father owns a junkyard.
I love this channel.
I love that kid's videos, and he's like 12, 13 years old. And his dad said to him, "You can have whatever car you want in this lot. You just get it running.
Just got to get it running.
Got to get it running." And this kid is going
like 10
through this
years
whole
old.
process, and he gets it running. And he does little projects every week.
The great thing about junkyards is you have dealer plates.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people bring cars in that don't have a registration, or golly knows where they come from. Golly knows how they come across them, and they take them. You buy them, and if they run, you can throw plates on them and drive them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have to insure them; it's automatically insured through dealer plates.
You
Yep.
hear that, guys? Yeah, that's how you can get away with shafting the government a little bit.
There you go.
For a couple of weeks.
You drive it around till someone comes in and goes, "Hey, I need a fender or a bumper,"
Yeah.
and let's go on to the next car.
Yeah.
Cars, I could never. Vehicles is one thing I'm not good at. Like anything with my truck or even motorcycle. Most guys who have a motorcycle, they work on it themselves. I don't even want to bother learning it. Like I'll just give it to somebody to repair. Motors, I'm not good at.
I'll still kind of do my own repairs if my alternator goes or power steering pump or something. When it gets really detailed, because motors are stuffed into cars now.
Right. Especially if they're made in Japan or something, you can't get your fingers in there.
Yeah, and you need all the electronic equipment to do anything with them.
Well, now they make cars so that they set it up so you have to take it back to the dealership because every dealership
Yeah.
has specific tools for their specific parts. You have to buy the programming. I talked to a mechanic about this. You have to buy the programming for the cars that you're working on. So like, let's say
You can't just buy a diagnostic machine and be done
you
with
can
it.
buy a diagnostic machine, but if you want it's diagnosing the problem, but now you need to fix the problem. And if everything is electronic, they sell you the program to go through the steps of what the issue is and how to solve it, how to fix it. And you have to buy that specifically from the dealership. The guy said everything is going to become specific to the car. Like if you want to see how they're like German auto mechanics, they only work on German cars. They don't want to bring in a Japanese car. I don't even want to deal with it, right? Because he's got the tools for all those German cars.
Makes perfect sense.
Wow. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how they're getting you.
You're gonna have to become like a niche mechanic for those things.
Was there a time where you thought maybe I'll just be a mechanic, or no, just right to carpentry and stuff?
Well, the way it started was through friends and family. Listen, I had 3 kids, and driving a truck you don't earn a lot of money.
You have 3 kids? I think you had 4.
No, 3. My daughter and the 2 boys.
I think you had 3 boys.
No,
Who's that one? Who's the one that's always toting around? The older guy. I guess I'm totally. Why is it 3 brothers construction then?
that's why I've always asked them. I don't know.
Where'd the third brother come
I have
from?
no idea. Must have been a heavy night of drinking.
All right, I'm glad we cleared that up because I just always assumed you had 3 boys.
No.
So I'm sorry to interrupt. Continue. You said how you got started.
So, always looking to make an extra buck. People said, "Hey, do you do anything?" And I'm like, "What do you need done?" Well, maybe strip some wallpaper, spackle, paint some rooms. So that's the way it got started. Then I found this fella, Paul, who was pretty much knew everything. He did everything. So I started working for him part-time. I learned how to do tile, and I went to school for air conditioning and all that stuff. So that's how I learned got the HVAC and the electrical background. I went to Lincoln Tech, and working with him, I'm doing jobs and customers are, he's coming in collecting a paycheck and I'm doing the work.
Exactly.
So, people said, oh, why don't you start do the stuff on your own? So when the milk business went sour,
No pun intended.
yeah,
Or pun intended.
there you go. Just got thrown in the drink, if you will, and sink or swim.
They still have milk delivered out, like in like PA and stuff. They still get their milk delivered.
Yeah, I'd still see the trucks that I used to, the company I used to work for is still around, but this company bought them or that company bought them, so the name is there.
Yeah.
But the actual company is
Right. Yeah. Well, that happens. Industries evolve. I don't know what's going to be gone. I mean, with all this AI coming up.
They're never going to replace us.
Well, that I understand. Although, remember one of the first episodes we did?
Sheetrock robot.
The sheetrock robot. There was a robot putting up sheetrock, but he can't do curves. He can't do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can't.
First of all,
automate us
it's
out.
in a controlled environment in
Yeah.
a certain setting. They got it to work in like a certain setting that was in like a factory
A
warehouse.
nice square.
Yeah,
Exactly.
everything was
Plumb room.
perfect.
Yeah.
And he's just putting up sheetrock on like a flat, just on like a one wall. He's not even making turns on the wall and everything. And at one point, he kind of shuts down.
Yeah.
So
And then he turned around with a nail gun and shot half the people in the audience.
yeah,
Well,
Like the
our
T1,
business,
T800.
a big part of our business is troubleshooting.
Yep.
yes.
Never
You
get,
can't do it.
you
There's
never
no way.
get, you're never getting a robot to go out there and do
Nope.
First of all, who wants that in their house?
that. Yeah.
Who's? I'm here to do your
Kicking
bathroom.
down wall. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Listen, robots are getting. I keep seeing all these articles like, oh, have a robot, a companion to do your laundry and stuff. It's like, do these people watch movies?
Look, at the end of the day, people want to talk to another person. It's the same thing when you call, customer service, and you get a robot. Everybody gets frustrated. Young or old gets frustrated. It doesn't matter. You know that deal that car business Carvana?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember how huge that was a few years ago?
I thought it was still huge.
They're huge because they bought other things. Like I found out that they bought
So it's not a thing
they,
anymore.
they bought auctions. So that's why they became huge. So they're the middleman for cars now.
Ah,
All right. But I don't see, do you see any Carvana towers around by
No.
us? People are still going to a dealership.
Yeah, guy bought his car.
Did he?
This latest car, Carvana.
All right.
And now
So
they're-
then I just
now
lost
they're-
that argument.
Yeah, and now they're haunting him to buy his pickup truck.
did he buy another pickup truck?
No,
I know he's a Dodge guy.
No, he's got the Toyota Tundra,
Oh, great truck.
Yeah, it's-
What year do you know?
2007. It's still going.
Yeah.
It's a good year.
It's good truck.
The older they are, the better.
The
Because
older
now
they are, yeah.
I also went to a Toyota dealership the other day just to look at the cars, the Tacomas. First of all, they're insanely expensive. Second, they're made in Mexico now with Chinese parts. They used to be all made in Japan or the United States.
Yeah.
Or Canada.
You know what? We have a problem with overseas manufacturing and our material failing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys? You don't deal with a lot of moving parts.
Well, me personally, I pretty much encounter everything in the home. I do electrical work. I do stuff that you guys do. I do sheetrock. I do tile, hardwood floors. Do additions, bathrooms, kitchens, basements. So again, whatever needs to be done.
Right.
The only problem I see is a lot of times you'll go to a store, Lowe's, Home Depot, buy a box of exhaust fan, something, get it, unpackage it, and things are missing.
Yeah.
Or it's actually used. Somebody put it back in the box,
Yeah.
take
Taped it up, yeah.
it back.
Yep. Do you notice the quality of material dipping though, or otherwise? Like the lumber, it's got to be worse off. I mean, when lumber was made here, when you used to get it from let's say Washington State or something, it had to be better quality than the stuff that they
Is
get
our
from China.
lumber imported?
Yeah, a lot
It
of our
is?
lumber is imported.
I'm one of those guys when I go for lumber wherever I go. I weed through them.
Yeah, you're looking
Yeah.
at the boards to
No.
line it up. Yeah, you have to do that. I mean, our biggest issue on the field is fail rate of material, circulators, zone valves. I mean, it's constant. And I had my accountant on here the other day. Couple months ago.
months ago.
Couple months ago, And he has a client who is in manufacturing. He manufactured in the U.S. his whole career. 4 years ago, he moves to Mexico, and his defect rate goes up to 30%. And the accountant was like, dude, your defect rate is 30%. What are you doing? He's like, it doesn't even matter. I'm making so much more money. The defect rate doesn't bother me at all.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this too, but because I talked to my father about that. You have to realize you might be making more money in the short term, but at the end of the day, your business is your business and you have to sell yourself. You have to sell a quality. So if people start noticing that you're getting crappy products from that company, they're going to stop buying from you. That's it. You know, you might be making money in the short term, but not in the long term with something like that.
I try to use the best products always. And whatever project I'm doing, I always talk to the customer about which products I'm going to be using. If they have, oh no, I'd rather use this.
Yeah.
Then if it fails, then it's on them.
Then it's on them.
Yeah. So
You kind of got to put it back in their lap.
yeah, the products that I use have been pretty good. You guys use a lot more electronic stuff than I do.
And a lot of expensive metals, copper, brass, all that stuff. I put in we've been getting into commercial work. We do a big apartment complex. It's a retirement home, huge, very expensive to live in. And there's two lines, two big 2-inch lines that come from the hot water heater, and they're two big mixer valves that feed half of a building. There's one mixer valve it's a T, so it's like that wide and that tall, all brass, about that big. Okay, weighs, I don't know, 20 pounds. My cost is $4,800 for one valve.
Wow, good night.
One. I couldn't believe it. A couple years ago, it would have been like 24. But so the metals on our end is super, super expensive. That's what drives up the cost. And in the past 4 years, I've had to tell customers, be like, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. I got to stay in business. You know, how did COVID and inflation and stuff? Because I remember plywood, lumber, when COVID first hit, it went through the roof.
$100 per sheet.
Yeah, it went up. It came back down, but the rule of thumb is everything is whatever you thought it was, it's double that.
Yeah,
that's exactly where it's at.
How did you adapt? Did you adapt okay?
It's got, unfortunately, it's got to get passed on to the customers.
Yeah,
just because otherwise you're not going to be in business.
Exactly.
Well, did you lose work or gain work during COVID? Because we got a lot more work because people were home.
Believe it or not, I was away from the beginning of January through when it was real bad. I was travel. We were on vacation for
just spreading COVID everywhere.
Yeah, we were just spreading COVID everywhere. Actually, it was kind of funny because every place we were, they were just closing it down as we left to go to the next destination.
Lucky.
Man. Yeah.
And my daughter's sending me all these pictures of, well, look, there's no toilet paper. And it's like, you're crazy. It's difficult. But, when we got back, it was like reality set in.
I didn't believe it either. My cousins were texting me like, you better stock up on toilet paper. COVID's coming.
Because here you don't feel those things as much in our area because I don't want to sound narcissistic, but here's like the center of all of economic kind of trade.
That's not narcissistic. It's the truth.
Yeah, like New York port and Newark, the port of Newark. It's like the busiest ports in the country.
It's the hub of the world.
It's the hub of the world, kind of, and we don't really feel like the groceries being empty. You feel the prices of it, but things still kind of move for us, but when you go to talk to your cousins in Ohio or in the South, they feel it there.
Well, they'll pull resources from the urban, from the rural areas to maintain the urban areas, and the people who are on flyover states and stuff, they feel it the most. You know what I mean?
We're in the tri-state area has always been good to me. My father-in-law worked with me for a period of time. You may have met my father-in-law. He lives in Rockland County. So he would come down and drive around, this area. And Rockland County's, pretty well to do.
Right.
And he'd see during recessions and during COVID, still additions and people building homes, and it's like, nothing's going on by me. What was the president live down here?
Yeah.
It's just this area. If this area that we live in ever goes kaput, the rest of the country's dead.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely agree. Because with COVID, we still talk about COVID on this because it affected small business a lot. This whole show's about small business entrepreneurs. I mean, there was 40% of small businesses closed down for good during COVID, you know? So that was a time that affected us a lot. It affected you a lot. We stayed busy. We were essential. We thought, I mean, there was talks that plumbers were going to be shut down and PSEG was going to take care of everything. Thank God people fought back. Be like, absolutely not. You can't, you can't just steamroll every business in this state. But as far as the supply chains go and the cost of doing business has absolutely, like, definitely doubled, if more. I'm curious to know, because we're kind of lucky. At that point, we had a numbers program installed, so we kind of knew how to bump up our numbers, bump up our material. How do you, who's mostly been like a one-man operation, how do you do your numbers? How do you do profit and loss? Is it really just kind of, you've been doing it for so long, you keep it in the back of your head?
Well, I sit down, I have my book that I look at, for whatever, everything is basically, what I do is square footage.
Okay.
Right, because most of my stuff is building,
right,
building a bathroom, reconstructing a bathroom, a kitchen, a basement. So it's a lot of square footage and linear numbers. That's the way I come up with that, and I have to figure man hours, to cover myself, and then you add your materials in, and then you have to look at the inflation on things, whatever's gone up, and that's where I come up with the prices. And now you don't have any type of program or anything. No,
really just
it's equations that I've made up.
We're talking very old school.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah,
but it works.
It works.
Listen, it works for a lot of plumbers that we know
profitable.
too.
You're doing well. I'm
doing okay. I'm not making a killing, but I'm not eating squirrel for dinner. That's for sure.
we're simple men.
Listen, where you live now, it's also becoming a very expensive area.
Yeah,
over in Fair Lawn.
Yeah, people
never sell that house.
I know somebody, a family friend, who just bought. Both of their daughters just bought homes in Fair Lawn, close to $1 million. Fair Lawn.
The house next door to me, if fellas had a rough time, I don't even know what his story is. He's renting his house out. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, not an expanded cape. It's got a pool that the last 2 people have. He's getting $5,000 a month rent.
Yep.
$5,000 renting a house.
Yeah.
The house next door.
Yeah, the one on the left-hand side.
That I did the pool for.
Yes.
Get the F out of here. Are you serious?
Yeah, he's I don't know, the Dominican fella.
Yeah.
He's good guy. I don't know what he got into.
You don't have to get racial, but
yeah, not well.
Just kidding.
No, it's good.
Totally
Cool
kidding.
it with the anti-Semitism.
He was a good guy. Became really good friends with him. I don't know what in God's name he did. He was talking about expanding his house, going to be the biggest house in the block.
Yeah, I
and the
remember
next
him
day I
saying
can't
that.
afford it.
Yep.
He's got big dreams that he can't fulfill.
I was telling him, I've been looking for a house too, to buy a house. I just went out West Jersey. It's insane. It's insane. First of all, the prices in Bergen County are ridiculous.
Something's got to change.
And
or
then
you're
you get out west, you can find something affordable, but it needs so much work that you're almost at the same level,
It's gotten to the point where we have so many people moving into this area.
Yeah.
Getting out of the city, getting out of Long Island, getting out of Westchester County, getting out of Connecticut, coming to New Jersey. In our area, Bergen County, Passaic County, there's a shortage of homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you find a home that you like and you go and bid on it, you got people outbid whatever the going price is. You have to figure to add at least another $80,000 to $90,000 on top of to get it.
Yep.
Well, during COVID, our customers, we have a lot of wealthy customers, Tenafly, Englewood, all those areas. And they would tell it during COVID, people would knock on their doors and offer them money for their house out of the city because they were prisoners in the city during COVID. So during COVID, these people would come out with buttloads of cash and be like, I'll give you cash for your house.
They did it to my parents.
Did they really?
Some guy.
How'd they find you guys up tucked back there?
No, some guy came.
Oh, that's right.
An Indian guy came and he bought one house in the neighborhood. Then he wanted to move his family, all of his kids and everybody that were married and all that stuff. He wanted to move his family in, and he's I don't know. He's got to be some mega millionaire
It's all
because
tech.
Yeah, he's got to be some mega millionaire because he knocked on several people's houses in my parents' neighborhood and offered them over asking value. And they said, where are you coming up with the, why? He goes, I want to move my family into the neighborhood. He just bought 2 more houses in the neighborhood, 2 of them that went for $2.5 million.
Wow.
It's hard to keep up, us
And then
hardworking.
then they complain about the price of the plumbing.
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started on that.
Yeah, that's
You walk into a house that's 9 bedrooms, 9 bath. What do you mean it's $200 for this?
yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's $200 for this? Are you kidding me? What do you think I'm going to sleep at night? like a house like yours? We have to live here too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We had to redo our numbers, and I actually want to. I want to jump on a couple of things of your history, but I want to say this because we pay attention to our numbers. I have a whole number sheet that goes that we built. I know the profit and loss.
This is a good time to plug your product and tell them that we're selling the number sheets.
Yeah, I'm selling the number sheets if you're interested. It can really do wonders for your business, turn you around like that. 5 trucks on the road in a year, I guarantee it.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that.
No, we sit there. We know our numbers. We know what we need to make. We know we need to break even. I know what I need to make down to the hour, to the minute almost. And you have to pay guys to live here.
Oh,
Like, well, I can't commute from southeastern PA to do your plumbing.
No.
If you want plumbers in this area, you have to pay them to live here. And people just don't understand that. And I've had to put my foot down a lot and say, listen, there's hundreds of other plumbers in this area. If you don't like my price, I'm not Best Buy. I'm not going to match their price. Call them. Well, I don't want them. I want you. It's like, if you want us, then you have to pay for us. And I have no problem doing that. I will rip an old lady's walker out of her hand if she doesn't, it's to that point. And I didn't start out like that.
Well, it's kind of like buying a car, right? You want to drive a Volkswagen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to exactly. You want to drive a.
Doesn't matter what you want to drive nowadays. Everything is
Everything's
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
There's nothing you
They're
can do.
crazy.
And the plumbers that aren't expensive, they'll be out of business soon. It just hasn't caught up to them. They're all struggling to eat. You know what I mean? So, I wanted to ask you actually when you started, because you had to build word of mouth somehow. You had to build a reputation. How did you start doing that? For new guys who are trying to come up.
Okay. I think the word of mouth started with when I was first working for the other contractor.
Okay.
And many people along the lines, you go to, I'm with a friend that you're doing, handyman work now. What are you doing? Oh, I'm remodeling a bathroom for a friend of mine on the side or something like that. Okay. Well, if you ever go on your own, give us a call because I'd like to do 2 bathrooms and then you start showing them pictures and
It's slow.
My biggest thing was networking.
In what way?
Everybody I talked to, anybody I talked to, every supplier that I bought things from, I let them know what I was doing, where I was doing it, how I was doing it, show them the pictures. And if you get one guy that goes in there and you do a great job and referral comes back and says, hey, that was a great referral.
Yeah.
Then it just...
And then it just snowballs.
Snowballed.
There was no Facebook. There was no Instagram. There was no moms groups back then. You never pulled an ad out of the yellow pages or something?
Yes.
Did you?
Full page ad.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
How'd that do?
It did very well for a while. That got me into Ridgewood, and that got me into Upper Saddle River.
That's crazy because your business starts with an R. You know what a lot of guys do in the pool business? You know what a lot of guys would do? They would name their pool company Aqua Pools, and then they would change the spelling of Aqua to make sure they're first in the phone book.
AA spelled Aqua
There
spelled
is an
AA.
Aqua Pools. They put 2 A's. One guy put a C after the A. Just to listen, pool
interesting.
companies are.
I just figured, full page ad, just people going through it. Oh,
Well, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's expensive for these guys. They're trying to do fly by night stuff.
yeah.
It's funny because when I took over, my uncle was like, well, you know what to do for advertising? You take that in the yellow pages. This was 2015. I'm like, the yellow pages? When was the last time you saw the yellow pages, Paul? So we obviously, like you, work on referrals the most. Google reviews, mom's group, word of mouth referrals. But I still wanted to build a presence online. Obviously, listen, you're probably the youngest old guy I know, so don't take this the wrong way.
No, I get it.
But you've been entrenched. You've been doing this for so long. Is it even worth it to build a social media presence to you?
Sure.
Is it?
Sure. Because I plan on.
Well, listen, buy my program for $50. No, go ahead.
Just because I'm an older gentleman doesn't mean I'm retiring anytime soon.
Well, what about your sons?
Yeah,
Do your
exactly.
sons offer those? Like, are they savvy with that kind of stuff? Are they trying to like push that on you? Because you guys all work together, right?
James more so Guy more so because James is in the union. So the thing he does, he's more like a handyman kind of on the side. I mean, he does very good work. But I think he's trying to get a business status going, but guys out there. So he's led me down the road to different people, websites and things like that. I'm working on one now to get the Google thing going so that I pop up more often. And
yeah, we did it organically. It's not easy. I'll tell you how I did it. Because everyone will throw things at you online. Oh, pay this amount of money, we'll get you up front in Google, and it's not a guarantee. So I started doing it organically, literally so organic, where I had a blog attached to my website and would post 5-10 times a day to the blog and hashtag everything. And then tell everyone, review me. So you slowly move up. We were on like page 7 of Google at one point. Now we're on the first page, but that took years.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's exhausting. I'll tell you that much. I don't know if you have the energy for it anymore, but it is exhausting.
I don't know how I've done it, but I'm out there. The exposure's pretty good. If you Google, bathroom remodeling, I'm in there somewhere, probably within the first 10 companies.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do.
No.
And
I don't know how I got there, but I'm there.
Well, you know what? I tell people all the time, listen, if you just leave me a Google review. Google reviews are huge. Even for somebody who's not going to want to plug into social media, just everyone looks for Google. Everyone looks to Google for their reviews. Leave me a Google review. I'd love it. Leave me 5 stars on Google.
What's up?
And if you didn't like my work, don't go to Google. But if you did, leave me 5 stars. The moms groups are huge.
Oh yeah, Bergen County moms, that gets me a lot of work.
I know, absolutely. So that's really all the social media you need to plug into.
Yeah.
And you've been doing fine.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something? I heard a deep breath over here.
No.
I think that was the dog.
Was it? She doesn't really take deep breaths. They're more like you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a break.
Okay.
I want to delve into a couple other things as far as the history goes and then present time. And then I want to talk about kids trying to get into contracting because
good subject.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about it all the time, trying to get high school kids to say, screw college. Let me go make money now. But we'll talk about all that. But we'll take a quick break. Guys, stick with us. We'll be right back.
Call Quartz Plumbing and Heating. Top-rated plumbers in North Jersey for over 60 years. And don't forget to keep treats for Frankie on hand. They'll help to subdue her carnal, animalistic nature.
Remodel Plus offers expert residential and commercial remodeling work, bathrooms, kitchens, and basements, and all types of general contracting work, serving Bergen County and the surrounding area. Whether you need a new addition to your home or an interior remodeling job, our experienced team is there to maximize your satisfaction. We are also certified universal HVAC technicians. Check us out at remodelplusnj.net and give us a call at 201-797-4056.
All I need is good energy. I don't need no negativity around me. High frequency. I'm talking higher G-O-D. Yeah. Good energy.
Folks, welcome back to Plum Bums Podcast, the Everyman's Podcast, as we like to say. Right, Max? That was your little tagline. I really like that, actually. We should try to work on marketing that.
I'm happy that you take my little inputs now. Because for a long time,
okay, I'm going to open up
you just crapped on everything that I...
That is just so not true. It's not true. Okay, listen. You really think that? You really think that?
Huh?
I value your opinion occasionally if I'm in a good mood.
Which is never.
Well, it goes for both of us then. We're two peas in a pod then.
Yeah.
We belong together. I tell you all the time. Nah, forget it. I'll work on that. I'll work on that joke. Maybe we'll come back to it later in the episode. Guys, we just want to remind you that this show is sponsored by Jigsaw PMR. Jigsaw PMR, your solution to property maintenance restoration. They deal with any disaster in your home or commercial business, fire, sewer, water damage, and mold. Fire, sewer, water, and mold.
He's probably having hopefully he's got some business now with the fires that we have in Jersey.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not hoping for,
Fingers crossed.
No, I want him to do well, so.
We've been using Jigsaw for many, many years now, and he is, sorry, Rod, but he is hands down the most responsive contractor. Not that you're not, but Jigsaw is, that guy never not picks up his phone.
Yeah.
He's at the job the same day with his little briefcase of tools. Guys, if you have a disaster in your home and you don't deal with it properly, we'll tell you some horror stories of what happens if you don't deal with mold or water, anything like that. It will bloom. This guy will take care of anything inside and out your home, get you back in nice and quick. Jigsaw PMR, jigsawpmr.com. Go check them out online. Great company. And follow them on social media. They have a really cool restoration journey that they are documenting and putting out there. Frankie, what's the matter? You want to go down? Do you want to go down? Or I'm going to put the dog down. She's not feeling the show today. But no, guys, again, we're here with an old contractor buddy of ours who's been with us for a long time, Rod Hill of Remodel Plus, remodelplusnj.com. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that right.
Like I said, like we talked about in the first half, we've been working with Rod for a very, very, very long time. I call you for stupid little things that I run into in the field.
Yeah, always willing to help.
Good, because I need it, man. So we actually delved into a little bit of your business, actually a lot of your business in the first half, but I want to kind of start to talk about, we dug into your history, how you got started. You have two boys that are in the construction field, two gorillas.
Yes.
I don't know where you got these. They're massive.
Well, I used to be that way, but I'm getting older, so no, my boys are both built very well and very, very strong and very smart.
And they do great work.
Yes, they do.
I follow them on social media. I mean, they've done their own home improvements and stuff like that. But
I just interrupt you with the great work thing. I remember the one time that you cut open a shower. You cut open a shower in this zigzag pattern. Oh, yeah. With these tiles, and you called his son to help put it back together. And he was texting you, I hate you for this, but he did it. He put it back perfectly.
Yep. It was unbelievable. It was the only way I could cut it out because we had to salvage the tile.
Yeah. I remember looking at that one.
I go, guy, I'm sorry. I have to do this to you, but I have faith. There's no other way. I'm not calling anyone else but you. You got to get in here and fix this. And I went back to the shower. The lady was super impressed. She couldn't believe that it was able to be done. Now she doesn't call us anymore. I don't know why. She found a cheaper plumber, I guess. Oh, well. She'll be back. They always come back. How does that feel as a father to have your boys follow in your footsteps like that?
It feels great because, listen, you know as well as I do, not every family can go into ITT.
Right.
So, and you look around, every contractor's my age or getting to be my age.
Yeah.
We need some of these younger guys in the field.
Absolutely. What's the stat we always say?
For every 7, at least for plumbers, for every 7 plumbers that leaves or retires or dies, whatever, only one takes his place.
Just one. The average age of a plumber right now, and we can only speak for plumbing, is what, 53?
53, and also we have 9.5 million people in the state of New Jersey. There's only 5,000 licensed plumbers in the whole state.
Yeah.
And most of them are older, retiring, getting ready to retire, slowing down, whatever.
So it's starting to pick up in trade school. I will say that. I think some young kids are starting to snap out of it and be like, I'm not going to go to college. What's the point of it? I want to go do this. I can start working and making money right away without the debt.
I'll say this. I've seen a lot of younger people in the school, but each year I don't see the same faces. like people who don't continue
Yeah,
their
that is
education.
true.
I know a lot of people who drop out right before they get their license. You know, for whatever reason, they just switch to a different trade. They switch to a different field of whatever. One of the local plumbers that we had around here, his son was in school with us, and he dropped out before he even finished.
Yeah.
You know, and he just went to sell insurance or something. It's like,
Yeah, take the easy way out. I've
Yeah.
had many young guys that have said, "Okay, listen, you come work for me. I'll teach you my trade. There's many things that I do that you can learn." The first bathroom and kitchen that we got, they're like, "Wow, this is way too hard. I don't want to do this."
yeah,
And they leave halfway through. Just when I got to carry the tub out the
Yeah.
next day,
Yep.
they don't show up.
Really?
Yeah,
That's brutal.
Is there-
We've
is-
had that.
yeah.
is there like a contracting license, like a schooling that you have to go to be a contractor like you, or is there? Because I know there's a license, but I don't know if there's
There's the
schooling.
consumer affairs license, and you have to have insurance. But as far as going to school, I mean, I did go to school to learn different aspects of what I do. But as far as a contracting school, I never heard of one.
How do you get so for the kids who are coming out of high school, besides going to work for a contractor, because of course you should do that. I mean, if you're gonna,
I think everyone should do that.
everyone
Doesn't- even
should
if you wanna,
go to work. I know kids who will go right out of high school and go right into plumbing school.
Yeah.
The information is not going to set in your brain because you don't understand the real field aspect of it. But let's say some kid's getting out of high school. I don't want to go to college. I don't have the money for college. I want to be a contractor. What would be your advice to that young guy?
My
or girl?
advice would be go to a Lowe's or a Home Depot and look for a fellow like me that looks like he needs a helper.
Look for someone who can't reach the top shelf.
No, come on, it's not that bad. I step up on my ladder for that. No, you find somebody and just say, hey, you need help. I'd like to learn. Come out, try it out for a few days, see if you like it.
Yeah.
But it's not an easy field.
No, it's not.
No.
But it's rewarding.
Oh, it's the biggest thing about doing what I do is most of the stuff that you guys do is behind the walls. You do a beautiful plumbing job. We throw sheetrock on it, a concrete board, you don't see it. Mine is the finished product.
that's what they look at every day, and if they don't like it, then you
Yeah,
know.
plumbers are not finishers, as you well know. I'm sure you've had to fix a couple of things that we've had to do when we're trying to finish something. When you put in a vanity, of course, you need to learn tips and tricks for that. But I've tried to do I suck at sheetrock. I suck at tile.
Well, listen, everything you got to be an artist, kind of.
Yeah. I would fully agree with that.
And you have to take great pride in what you do, and you have to pay attention to detail.
Yeah.
Patience,
Which a lot
it.
of contractors don't pay attention to
You
detail.
can see it now. You can see
it's done.
the
No,
work
it's
now.
not done. It's not done until the customer says beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like you're the kind of person who to see, like, if you put something in and you step back and you look at it and you don't like something, you're ripping it out.
Yep, I'll redo it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we run into a lot of issues with contractors who aren't. Well, let me ask you this. This is what I always wanted. What is the deal with contractors throwing a 2x4 stud in the middle of where the shower valve has to go?
That's a good question because I never do that.
I know you don't do that.
Just no brains.
Every contractor that we've worked with that we don't normally work with, we go to put in the shower valve and there's a 2x4 right in the middle lining up with the drain.
Yeah.
I have no idea because that's
And then I got to call the guy and
That's
he's
it.
like, oh, you're going to make me move it now? I can't move it. It's like,
that's somebody not using the forethought for the next guy
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah.
I always say plumbing has to be where it has to be.
Yes.
It has to have the pitch. It has to have the drain. I can't jog around everything to get there. I need pitch. I need distance. A contractor like you understands that. But there are so many that don't understand the other trades that have to get in there.
Just like when you're doing an addition on a house and you're building a bathroom. And the rafters are going the wrong way with where the toilets. You got to build you a
Gotta
plumber's
build a
box.
Yeah.
Yep.
You talk to some of these contractors. What's a plumber's box? How do I do that?
Yep.
It's like, what? You just get into this business yesterday? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like putting a set of drop stairs in. It's got to be.
It is what it is at this point. But here's what the biggest thing we run into is house flippers
Oh yeah.
who bring in the cheapest
It's brutal.
shit.
I have a
the
question for you. about material. Speaking of the cheapest stuff, I send you those videos all the time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there's one video that I just saw recently of a neighborhood builder bought like a neighborhood. He's putting up houses, trying to put up like $200,000-$300,000 affordable homes. He's using for the siding. He's using like MDF board, like almost like a strong cardboard for the siding.
Particle board.
Particle board, yeah.
Is that?
Are you seeing that?
Yeah, it's the way they cut corners.
That's insane.
So if it's his house, once the siding and stuff is up, no one will ever know the difference.
Exactly.
If you're building a home, you'd use CDX as opposed to particle board.
Yeah.
Particle board gets wet, turns to mush.
Yeah.
Plywood gets wet, dries out,
Yeah.
still good.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're cutting corners here like that, huh?
Oh, yes, sir.
I mean, do you see it with the newer houses? The quality of newer homes being put up are just awful.
You can the way you can tell is if your homeowners go out to buy a new home, you go inside, close all the doors and all the windows, and have somebody outside yell. If you can hear them,
Yeah.
then it's not insulated. There's not good foam. Not thick plywood.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. If you're going to buy a house, have someone stand inside, go outside and yell.
Yeah. If you can hear them pretty clearly, you know that house isn't built well.
That's a good trick. That's a good
Yeah,
trick
that's
tip
a
for
great
consumers. You got any more of those?
I'll think about it on the way.
All right, we'll think about it on the way because that's great. People, that's what people want to hear.
Yeah.
They want, like, we try to give people pointers when they're buying a house, what to look for and stuff like that. But I don't know what to tell them about construction.
Yeah.
You know, you can buy a house flip. It looks great, but you have no idea what's behind the walls. And then I go in there, everything is, oh my gosh, some of the nightmares.
The plumbing is a disaster. You see people that first of all, you see PEX everywhere now. And we're not anti-PEX because it's not the best. We don't think. We still like to use copper, but it's if you see it coming straight off the water heater with no elbows, just like swung and like roped across things, and then
that somebody don't know what they're doing or don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I have this lady out in in Bergen County who I went to the other day. She bought the house 4 years ago. Something it's been toting along just fine. She has a big boiler system. House is huge. Okay. But everything is assembled so cheap. The seams don't meet up on the floors and stuff like that. She's like, I'm having issues with my boiler. I go down there. They used PVC on the boiler lines. CPVC on the boiler lines. And she has an indirect water heater. Mind you, PVC is not rated for this at all. It's for drainage on sewer, and you're pumping 200-degree water through it. They hooked up the indirect water heater. You know what an indirect water heater is, where it's heated by your boiler?
Yes.
They used electrical conduit for the piping. I go, lady, you're leaking from every joint. We'll just do the bare minimum. I was like, the bare minimum is you move and I rehab this whole thing. That's the bare minimum.
Where was this?
This is in Washington, I think, or Westwood. She's like, I don't want to deal with all that. I was like, you're gonna have to deal with this at some point.
I also say that usually the best thing to do is to walk away.
Yes,
from those types of jobs.
Which is what I did.
Because she'll never understand. People will never understand because once you touch something like that, and again, I don't know how it is for contracting, but once you touch bad work, everything else down the line now becomes a problem.
You also own it.
Does it happen to you?
Yeah. Well, that's criteria. Once you start a job and something that's wrong, you have to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But do you notice in contracting, if you touch something, like let's say you touch like a really old, rotted, framing, can you kind of work with what you have there? Or do you say to somebody, listen, it's all got to get changed out?
Well, the way I write my contracts up, if I'm doing something that I can't see, my contracts clearly dictate that anything that I open up behind walls, I will come to the customer and say, this is what I found.
Yeah.
How would you like to go about dealing with this? We can either cover it up or we can rip it apart and do it the right way.
Like a change order contract.
Yes, exactly.
You have to write your contracts very, very detailed nowadays, I notice.
Absolutely.
Because people have tried to stick me on many, many things. Mm-hmm. And our problem is all our piping is connected through the whole house, whether it be a boiler system, it's all connected. So if I have to work on a section that's corroded and the rest of the house is like pretty much teetering on like collapse, I have to say, listen, I'm only responsible for what I'm touching. Mm-hmm. When I'm cutting pipe, I'm jogging the whole system. I don't know what can go wrong. I am not responsible for that.
Yes.
I cannot. And I have the wording in I haven't read it in a while, but it is there. And I have to tell people, like, I'm not a magician. Okay. I'm coming in here. I'm fixing what needs to be fixed. I'm going to tell you what should be fixed. It's ultimately your choice. This is not my house, and I will not take financial responsibility for it.
That's
anything I touch. I'll give you a great warranty. We'll do the best work we can.
Yeah.
But like this lady with the CPVC, it's a radiant system. It's underfloor. And it's still, she has the suspended underfloor where you're hitting 180 degrees. It's not where it's dogged down to like 85 or 90 degrees under the floor. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching these lines just shoot through the basement and then just disappear off into walls. I'm like, I can't, like, you don't want to know the price for me to fix this.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I see some corrosion stuff. It's like, listen, I'm not the plumber for you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone going to come in here who'll try to make a quick buck off you, but this house will be the bane of my existence the second I touch anything.
Well, you're like me. It's going to be done the right way or I won't do it at all. Yeah,
exactly. And you lose customers sometimes on that.
Well, if you try to explain to them as best as you can, and they're either going to understand or they're not.
I mean, it's not an easy industry.
No,
it really isn't. I mean, people will look at, here's what I notice. People, not maybe on the surface, but we're still looked down upon occasionally as servants, as second-class citizens sometimes. Like when I go into someone's house, I spend an hour there and I put in some parts and the bill's $375. And they're like, oh, what is this? This is ridiculous. I'm paying. It's like, how do you think I pay my bills? Like, I know that you view my industry as garbage and the people in it as garbage and lower than you, but guess what? What I like to say that there's a blue collar revolution happening, because since COVID happened, we realized that we are not expendable. We're essential. We're the only ones working through COVID. And college has become such a scam, which we should touch base on. It has become such a money laundering scam that blue collar workers now realize our worth in society. And it's about freaking time, in my opinion. I mean, how do you feel about that? You want to join the revolution?
Without
it's $50 a month.
Without people like us, your houses would go to crap.
Done.
That's it.
You can import as much cheap labor as you want, but if you're not having good quality guys,
still going to be able to hear conversations outside on the street in your house.
Yeah, exactly. And I can walk into a house and I can know these people have no idea what they're doing. They've been in business for a little bit. They come in, and you know what I see? Sorry, I moved my mic. I see bigger companies that'll come in. They'll do a whole bunch of work. They'll skimp out on their contracts. They'll close the business and open up under another name.
Yes, I've seen that too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
30 years in the business, I would assume you have. What are your thoughts on college nowadays? That you have a daughter that went through college and doesn't even use her degree?
If you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be a lawyer, if you're going to be, go into something like that, college is 100%. If you're going to go to business school, if you're going to be an
engineer,
you need it. My daughter went to school. I'm sure everybody have seen this. It's almost a cliche that when you start college for one thing, by your second or third year, you're into something else.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to consider before you're going in there. Maybe you should take a little bit more time and decide exactly what field it is that you want to do before you go wasting these astronomical amounts of money.
Astronomical is an understatement.
Yes.
$150,000, $175,000 compounding interest for the rest of your life.
And then in the third year, you decide that's not what I'm going to do, and you go off and do something different. And then
you got to restart. Yeah.
And then you're paying off college when you're my age.
Well, the funny part is that people, like, let's say they go to college, they go, I'll get a great job. I'll get a great paying salary job, And once they're done with their 5 years of college or whatever, they get into that field. They get the job. They get the high paying job, but they have to pay off that debt. I know people with good paying salaries, making $150,000 a year or $200,000 a year that have nothing, because they're constantly paying off the debt that they went to school on, because you don't realize that it's debt that it sits there. Let's say you're paying $500 a month on it, and then you get out of college and you want a car. So you get a car, and now you have a car payment plus insurance. Now you want to get a house. Okay, so you either pay rent or you get a mortgage. Now you have that. So it's just like all these things that you can't catch up with, and the school payments in the back of your mind. And like you said, you don't pay it off until you're like your age, because it's just something you're like, all right, it's here. It's something that I'm doing, but it just keeps going, and you never catch up to it. So
yeah, it is overpriced.
It's usury to full tilt. It's 100%. It's become that too in the last 20, 30 years.
And so some of our viewers should consider talking to their children to be, go into the trades.
Well, that's what we push all the time.
Yep.
You know what I noticed though, when we push it to people, when we tell people about it, like even the people that we have on this show, a lot of them who are contractors or in a trade or something, and then you ask them, what are you going to do with your kids? What are you going to tell your kids? And then they go, I don't know. I still think, maybe college is...
It's still ingrained
in people. And I'm like, you're in the trades and you see what it is and what it can give you. And listen, it's tough. You have to work, okay? But life is work.
That's the biggest thing I find, especially this generation. Actually, you know what? Not so much this generation. I would say the generation before the youngest one now and millennials, they don't want to work.
No,
we had a guy on here. He was talking about the interview process, and he goes, the first thing these kids come up and they ask in the interview process, how much time do I get off?
How much vacation time?
How much vacation time do I get off? Oh, it was Ronnie.
Yeah,
Ronnie was talking about it, and he goes, you can get as much time as you want because you're not working here. Like, how do you interview with that attitude? Yeah. How much time do I get off? How much do I get paid?
A couple of customers' children I talked to, they want to build games. They want to be gamers for the rest of it. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to say this though. I will say this because you don't need to go to college for that.
No,
it's something, and they make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
If you're good at it, whatever, I get it, but
it's near impossible to make.
Exactly. It's near impossible to make money off it. It's like, people that you see, making it as celebrities or making it as athletes,
or or professional musician.
Yeah. You might be very good at something. Doesn't mean you're going to make it.
Yep.
This is an area, this is a field. These are fields where if you're good at it, you will make money.
You'll make a living.
You'll make a living.
I was listening to the NYU graduate ceremony, and they were interviewing kids before they were graduating. They're like, hey, tell us your degree, and yada, yada. It's like, my degree is activism and art. My degree is youth of whatever. Like, my degree is musical theory with a concentration in, like, I don't know, running my fingers on a canvas. Russian literature. It's like... And colleges are just sitting there with a big smile on their face.
Yeah, because what are you going to do with that?
What are you going to do
at the end of the day?
How are you going to contribute to society and make a living for yourself? It's like, okay, you better learn how to make coffee now.
Yeah.
We could go on and on about college, man. We do it all the time, but I don't want to demonize people who do go to college. All my younger cousins are in college. My one cousin's going for communications, whatever that is. That's great, and she's not paying for it, as you well know. You have a daughter.
I think that's also the other thing. I don't know if you regret it or not. I mean, regret might not be the right word, but when parents pay for their kids' college, it doesn't really incentivize them to do much there. Like my older sister, who's very, very smart. Okay. My parents paid for her college in the beginning and she screwed. Yeah.
Really?
They paid for her college. She got a scholarship, but they paid for whatever she had.
A scholarship?
Yeah.
For what?
She was at William Patterson. I don't know what she was doing. She was a very smart girl.
I know her very well.
Do you?
Your sister?
Yeah. You know my sister? How do you know my sister?
Well, I have no idea. How could I possibly know your sister?
Anyway,
I'm just trying to figure out what on earth she could get a scholarship for, but go ahead.
She went to college because she's smart. She went to college. My parents paid for it. She screwed them over. And after her, my parents said to all of us, if you decide to go to college, the younger siblings, we're not paying for it.
She ruined it for you
because
guys.
she ruined it for everybody. So I think that parents should also kind of take a step back from paying for their kids' college, because I think when you're responsible financially for it, and I'm not saying let them take out this astronomical debt, but I'm saying when they're financially responsible for it, it gives them a little bit more of an incentive maybe to go look for scholarships or to go look for grants or to look for cheaper ways, go to a community college or go to a trade school, you know, and work it out themselves a little bit.
Well, or the other side of the story is, like I said, my daughter went for criminal justice, and that's kind of a dead end.
Yeah, what did she want to do with it? I mean, without gossiping about your daughter too much.
She
on this nationally syndicated show.
I don't know. You know, I don't know where anybody goes with that.
Yeah,
it's a tough field.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people out there that are in trouble. Mental health, and I don't know. You know, I don't know where you go with that, because it's not a great paying job.
It's not, and the world's just getting crazier.
She said, "I'm gonna get my real estate license," and that's what she's doing. So
at least she found something.
Yeah. So the college time was, you know, the time she spent going to college, she's doing something else, as we just talked about.
So your boys won out in the end. They came out on top.
They had said to me, "Sorry, guys." they had said to me, "Well, you know, you paid for part of her college. How about giving me some of that money?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Let me ask you this about Remodel Plus. What is it about Remodel Plus that what sets yourself apart from all the other hundreds of contractors in here? Because we know what sets us apart. We have we can think of a couple. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I would say the thing that sticks out the most to me is
bring the microphone up a little bit.
The thing that sticks out the most to me is I see a lot of contractors and customers ask me this: who's doing it? Once I give you the job, who's doing the work? Is it going to be a bunch of people that you bring in? And the first thing I say to them is, my hands and eyes are on everything that I do, and that's what sets me apart. Because
that's huge.
Yes,
that's very huge. We hear that all the time.
Yep. So one guy sells the job, and the other guy does the job.
Yeah. No.
We have contractors like that they come in, they sell the job, and then they're never seen again.
Great talker, great seller.
Well,
salesman.
If you remember from the beginning, I worked for the guy who put me on the job, and people said, "You should be doing this yourself instead."
Yeah,
and that stuck with me.
Yeah,
I mean that's actually something really you should advertise that. You know, that because that's important to people. You come in, someone comes in, they give a great quote, and then a whole bunch of guys come in and they never see the owner again.
My hands and my mustache on the job.
There you go.
These handlebars will be everywhere.
There you go.
That's a great selling point.
This handlebar mustache in your sleep.
So convince me to start getting into golf. I know how much you love golf.
For me, it's a relaxation thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it takes me away from... I love nature.
Okay.
So you get out, and a lot of these golf courses are just...
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Spectacular to the eyes. Mm-hmm. And golf is a tough game. You know, some days you play well, some days you don't. Some guys never play well.
Right.
But, you know, you get out... The three of us go out on the golf course, you forget about everything.
Yeah.
The old saying is you can have a bad day of golf, but it's better than a good day at work.
Exactly. That's a good point. So, I see pictures of you and your boys out all the time.
Yeah, it's just even my wife. My wife and I go out and play together all the time.
Oh, she's a golfer?
My wife plays golf too. Yeah.
That's actually pretty nice to do with a spouse.
Yes. You two couples get together. And,
yeah. That's a nice relationship building thing. Wow,
Pete, my friends try to get me into it. I can't. I just can't.
Well, they have this new thing called the heck is it called? There's places you can
range like Top Golf.
Top Golf. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Those are a lot of fun.
Well,
it's a driving range.
It's a restaurant.
Yeah.
Bar with a driving range. It's a good place to have fun.
Yeah.
It's projected on a screen though.
No,
is that what it is?
No, it's an open field, like a golf course
Really?
with big circles, that you shoot the golf ball into, and you get points, and
There's different games and points.
So like almost like a giant pinball. What you're shooting golf balls.
Is there a Top Golf around here?
It's in Edison, the closest one. They were supposed to build one in Maywood, but that project got killed pretty quick.
It's hard to find property in Maywood. Where are they going to find property for
I don't
that?
know.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing.
Well, listen, Rod, I really, really appreciate you coming on. I know we've been trying to get you on for months, not even weeks, for months.
That's because I'm busy out in the field.
You're busy out in the field. I get it, man. Anything else you want to tell your customers that might want to give you a call?
Nothing.
Dead air. Holy cow. The first dead air of the show. Nothing. I think you pretty much covered it all.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll tell you guys, Rod's a great contractor. We work very closely. He's very communicative. Great work. You know what I need? I need to get some photos of you so I can put it on this episode and kind of post them up on the episode. But I would encourage anyone, if you're starting a project, start with this guy. He'll call us in to do the plumbing. You have a great bathroom or kitchen, hands down.
Yep.
Tile work is great.
Thank you.
Yeah, phenomenal. But listen, if you're going to check out Rod, check out Remodel Plus, remodelplusnj.com. Phone number is 201-797-4056. I guess I could have had you say that, but you have a spokesperson now.
That's it.
Give him a call. Check him out online. Rod, thanks again for being here. We had a blast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Folks, thanks for watching. As always, we want to remind you this show is sponsored by Jigsaw PMR, jigsawpmr.com, fire, mold, sewer, water. I have 4 things I can't remember. Great company. Anything happens in your home, you're going to call to us, and we're going to call Jigsaw and get them over to you. Excellent company, jigsawpmr.com. Check them out online. We also want to remind you that we are always looking for small business owners, entrepreneurs, anyone in a really cool industry. We're always looking for someone to come on the show and talk about it. Sit down for a couple hours. We'll have a laugh. We'll discuss the ins and outs of your industry. You're going to go to quartzplumbing.com. You're going to click the podcast link in the upper right corner. Go down and fill out the Be a Guest application, and we'll get you on. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of great guests coming up, so stick with us, and we will catch you here next week.